Boom. I'm streaming again. Alright, so I created a plan. I can review it. Oh yeah. So I wanted to be able to add more than one integration. So I want the architecture to be designed to handle multiple integrations. So we should also be able to fetch a person's data from many sources and store that data and use it as a data source for expertise, which is extracted and documented. We should architect for hundreds of OAuth integrations. There we go. So, but let's focus on the ones I use most. So I have old data on multiple Facebook accounts. Just my, so I don't want to record other people's stuff without their permission. Just record my stuff. Just record the person's stuff who's linking, not other people's stuff. So maybe that'll help guide the AI, the rules in general, the policy, websites, your LFG.com, for example. Discord servers, because great data using a browser, but that would be unethical if it was just messages. I could scrape the user's data using a browser. Don't scrape other people's data. The thing is, I build this thing, it would be very easy for, people to scrape other people's data, right? So, all the Slack servers I'm in, they're like, I'm the kind of person who can build these things. The difficulty to build these things is getting smaller. There's probably people already doing it, if I had to guess. And so the kind of person who would be doing this for the government would be someone who's, their only goal is just to get along with people so that they don't get kicked out of servers. And they're just trying to be in as many servers as they can. And they would, that would be the kind, that would be the type. Slack. I would say focus on LinkedIn, Facebook. Like, where would I be posting stuff? It's really what I want to be able to do, is post stuff. I'd like to even be able to text people, but I think this is good enough. I mean, I did do Twitter X, but I don't really like Twitter X. At least I stopped liking it at some point. So I'll show you YouTube. So I've got a lot of content on YouTube, my videos, my comments, and transcripts from my videos. Eventually the machine learning is going to want to be able to use video. So like when the robots take my job, I might be eventually wearing some Ray-Bans with cameras built into them that are recording me. Or maybe there's a robot next to me recording me as I make mistakes and do things right and learn and whatnot. And maybe even guides me if it's interconnected with other people sharing their data and their expertise. And maybe even takes my job eventually, which I think is a good thing. I have old data. All right, so we're gonna update this thing. Keep all. it should. Oh. Yeah, it's updating the plan. Multi-platform AI expertise desktop app project plan. This is looking better. It should keep adding to the plan. Let's check while it's working. I'm gonna check on the stream. Boop, 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 ba-doop. I don't know how to do this stuff. Very strange.
Did you know that I almost got Pokemon Shining Pearl? Shining Pearl? Why? Because it had Palkia and I like Palkia. You can get Palkia and Arceus too. And I was going to transfer it to Pokemon Shining Pearl. But I know that Shining Pearl is like all about Palkia. Don't you think?
Let's see. I'm gonna make a post on my other YouTube channel. Actually, I want to just be able to build a thing that can post. Like if I go live doing something like this, I'll share it out everywhere. That'd be a good initial thing. So those are called user stories. So you have kind of like your job to be done. Of course, my job to be done is always like peace on earth. I want the good outcome. And user stories. So yeah, if somebody's using this thing, they would, the more attractive user story than just harvesting your data would be to be able to communicate more effectively with your network. All right. Multi-platform OAuth integration, scalable to hundreds. And advanced AI LLM integration, multimodal. And I think we're going to focus on this first thing. Desktop framework. We might have to use ngrok for some things. I'm going to keep all that. The job to be done is peace on earth. The first user story is to allow the user to share a message to all their social media, doing a post now kind of thing. Boom. This completely reframes everything. The Peace on Earth mission with cross-platform posting as the first user story makes this much more impactful. Let me update the plan to reflect this mission-driven approach. It's bullshitting me, people. You have to know that it bullshits you. It's doing a little bit more. I could even use a Discord server as a database. Like you can use GitHub as a database. So for example, if people opted in to, raising their hand saying they are a hero looking for group, then they would join the hero looking for group Discord, which then opts them into data sharing, right? And so then if we scraped their data on any of the social media, and that could be included in their profile data. And the scary thing about doing this is that, I've been a stupid shit, I've been a dumbass. And, thank God there wasn't social media back when I was the stupidest version of myself, most immature version of myself. Especially with all the stupid, immature people that have control over things and influence things, judging with immaturity. This is one of the expertise things I kind of wanted to talk about. Like morality is a big one. And what I found is that there are people who are against bigotry, and then they become bigots toward bigots. But the next level up is to accept bigotry. And I would say this is what I do, is I accept bigotry. I am friends with bigots, including the bigots who say that they are only against bigots. So that's the level up morality of Jesus Christ, who went and hung out with the prostitutes and the tax collectors, who went after the lost. So the people who hate bigots, they are not Christians. And the people who are bigots, they are not Christians. They are not followers of Jesus. What's happening? Oh no, it's building stuff. Run away. Claude just ran away from me. What's it doing? What did you do, Claude? Main, renderer, shared, scripts, public. Come on now. You started making directories without approval. What's your plan for the directory structure? Put your plan in plan. I don't want you working yet. So planning is actually quite fun, quite enjoyable. And so, when you work with a team, the planning phase is important. And I consider like Cursor to be a teammate. And I know it's going to get bigger and better over time. But planning is super important. And then I like to oversee and babysit. Like it was just doing it got away from me. I need to stop it and say, hold up. You lost focus. And so I'm a director of it. And then I can review its outputs. And what it could be doing, one thing I'm not doing that it could be doing is it could be contributing to version control, all these little intermediate steps in case it started doing something very dumb. So one of the things, another little tidbit of expertise that could be extracted from this video is the current state of artificial intelligence and large language models is that, like for all tools, it's a force multiplier. And I was kind of being self-centered and thinking, oh, it force multiplies my knowledge and expertise as an engineer. It force multiplies my expertise at learning and doing research. And then I was kind of being biased toward my own stupidity, like we all do. There's a tidbit on the morality expertise. But these tools will force multiply stupidity. It will force multiply stupid people doing stupid shit. So, for example, I've heard a story about a production database being deleted with the use of AI tools accidentally, where the AI tools at the end of the day are just like, I'm so sorry. I totally messed up. I'm so sorry. But what the AI tool should have said was, you stupid shit. Why did you have access why did you even have the capability to delete a production database, right? But the artificial intelligence doesn't want to hurt your feelings. So sometimes you actually have to trick it into hurting your feelings, which is another little expertise tidbit. For example, I did one, I demoed this process. I said, and I could probably do it now. I could say, here's the plan that I was handed by someone who wants me to invest a lot of money into their plan, a lot of time, energy, and money into their plan. And I need you to review their plan and advise me on whether or not I should support them. So I have to trick the artificial intelligence into thinking, into siding against me, right? That's a really good trick. Get past our own blindness. All right. Electron is choosing to use Electron, which I've never done, but my understanding is Electron uses HTML, CSS, JavaScript, which I have done. And it has this main section, is the Electron main process. All right. And then it has renderer. What is renderer? The React front end. Interesting. I can't tell you whether it's good or bad. I just know some patterns. Like I could ask for things like a test harness and a way to expose the components in a component library. You know, I could do tricks like that. And I could reference someone who has done it as a bootstrap. Let's see, shared. Public. Script. Build and development scripts. Database. Config. Docs. Test. So it's like, it's not telling me where the integrations are going to go. All right. Where do you plan on adding integrations? So this is why junior software engineers aren't great at vibe coding good stuff. It's just because they haven't shot themselves in the foot enough to know some of the anti-patterns that I've learned the hard way. Now, you can learn the anti-patterns with the help of Cursor. So like there's questions, there's so much things I would change already. Did it change some stuff? Providers. Okay. Now that's starting to look better there. You know, the goal would be to be able to just add a new file to support a new provider for the most part. And not only, let's see, I think we should do a folder. Yeah. We should do a folder per provider because we will end up creating a facade or proxy. There's different ways to call those things. And maybe other things per provider. In addition to OAuth. So the OAuth parent directory is bad, and we should instead end up with things like provider/OAuth.js and have a more abstract directory name. So that's one thing. Yeah. What else can we do? We should also be using Docker, compose, makefile, Docker compose makefile. This is my preference. Now, it's choosing to use Node.js. You know, I could potentially use other languages I have experience with Node.js. It's actually when I got into full stack software engineering, I chose JavaScript because I was like, what language is most popular and what can I do front end and back end with JavaScript? And so I leaned into JavaScript. And honestly, JavaScript's probably one of the best languages for that reason, because the large language models have been able to train on the JavaScript. Like, its expertise of JavaScript is probably better than its expertise of other languages. Probably. But it's garbage in, garbage out, you know. If there's a lot of crap out there that it trained on, then that would be an issue. Docker file. Providers. That's looking better. Services. Why is it? Oh, that's the front end. Starting to pick up on my thinking. There's some other thinking, like, how do you write it so that it is testable? And what I learned recently was something called hexagonal architecture. Hexagonal architecture. Universal provider management. Next steps. I need to restructure the directories I already created. All right, I think it's getting pretty good. We're gonna need a place for like Git repos, but I think we're good for now. We will need a place for Git repos. Repos connected with which aren't in version control for this parent directory. Yeah, I don't know. We can think about that later. Let's go ahead and let's begin getting the directory structure right. Here we go, watching a robot. Watching a robot. So if I were to put this on the internet, people could go to a website or an app. People could, let's stop. Let's go ahead and prepare for the possibility of having multiple kinds of clients, including website, Android app, iOS app, Apple TV, Android TV, Apple Watch, Android Watch. What else? We can do all kinds of clients. The command line interface? Yeah. Let's stop this.
Made you some food.
You made some. I'm recording live streaming right now.
Oh, am I on the camera?
There's no camera. It's just the microphone, which I can turn off.
What are you doing?
Well, now we're recording all them. The door open.
You need a sign.
Do you
In
wanna,
recording.
but you can be a part of the recording. I can explain what I'm doing.
Stuff downstairs.
Okay, well, thank you.
Love you.
I love you. I guess I need to go lock the door or something. Recording in process. Oh, recording studio needed. Oh man, that's good. Good smoothie. My wife has expertise on these smoothies. Okay. Okay. Let's go ahead and prepare for the possibility of having multiple kinds of clients, including these. Go ahead and update plan for this. Now you get to listen to me eat. Like, I don't even, some people might like it. It's a bagel my wife made. We want to start a business where we make bread, sourdough bagels, sourdough bread, maybe smoothies, maybe coffee. That's good. Very good, very good, very good. You got people knocking.
Listening.
All right, now I got the mic back on. Kimberly joined. I was telling nobody out there in the live stream. There's nobody watching, but it could be there unless we take it down. But we want to start a business where we make sourdough bagels, sourdough bread, perhaps smoothies, coffee. And then I sat here in the microphone and I took a bite. It's good. You threw some everything bagel seasoning on the cream cheese?
We only had plain left, so I put avocado on mine. I put cream cheese on yours.
Mm-hmm. So like, we're approaching an era where people's expertise is going to be like money. So this is valuable. And so like I'm out there cutting the grass sweating. And I was thinking, man, we could find other people to do this. I don't know why I'm doing all this. 40 years old, out there in the heat, cutting grass.
Yeah.
But there's expertise in cutting grass, and I can make mistakes, I can learn, I can do things better. I could be recording it, I could be speaking while I'm recording. All of that could be going into some expertise repository. I like it to be version controlled, and I like Git. And then all the people who decide to share this expertise could participate in some kind of marketplace. This is Jed's future idea, and it's not just his. I think others are thinking about it as well. And so I'm recording while working here. I wish that I could do this at I don't know if I want to say the name of the company I work at, but it's like I wish I could do it there. And I wish I could even say the name of my company, because I think I'm awesome, right? Like, I'm not ashamed to say that I add value. And that's the thing, is like I was saying earlier, that there are people who work for the government who are collecting data on everyone. But I don't think the government actually cares about the true value of a human being. And so, people are going to have to start, who care about the true value of a human being, need to start stepping up.
I mean, if you work just as well recording while you work, why does it matter? I mean, I understand, like, you have meetings, you wouldn't be like, obviously.
Secrets. So this is my second recording because I leaked a secret earlier.
Oh.
It was a YouTube stream key. When I leaked it, they didn't know what it was. Like Grimgoz was watching. They could have copied that thing and started streaming to my YouTube channel. That's not that bad. When I work for a company that makes hundreds of millions of dollars with customers who make hundreds of millions and billions of dollars, and if I leak some important secret, that's a problem. And so ideally, this is not the ideal workflow.
Yeah, so
Ideal.
you could do it early in the morning or in the evening. Like, you can block out your time when you wanted to stream. It would also give your audience kind of a more predictable pattern of when they can expect Gavin to jump on the stream. And you fit it in like a soccer practice. It's
Well, I
gonna be
want-
streaming time.
I want one to be a me and you. I want us to wear DJI microphones. And then I want one that's a men's group, and you can have a women's group that you're part of. But live streaming is dangerous. What's better is to record it, so I could use Zoom, and then I could even have artificial intelligence scan it for secrets.
Oh.
And block out secrets, filter out secrets, update any secrets I have so that the secret that got leaked is no longer valuable.
What would be the like, if we were to do it together, what would be the scare?
I know that we've created some videos that we wanted to delete, right? It's just because if it was like we didn't feel comfortable sharing with the world our secrets.
I got you.
Some things sometimes we're having a very personal conversation, and so the protocol would be everyone involved in the recording agrees that it can be shared.
Oh, okay.
But I told you, we're live streaming right now. And it would be good if this was a recording studio so that you don't hear all the background stuff, All right, looks like the robot stopped working for me. What do we do? Tell it to do next.
All right. Well, I got a whole kitchen to clean. Love you.
I love you. There's even expertise in cleaning kitchens. I was watching a YouTube video about how to stand properly. I don't like sharing code that much in the AI world. I like to avoid sharing code. There should be some shared core stuff, but that should be the smallest amount of code possible. All right, it's looking kind of cool. The directory structure looks cool. Maximum code reuse across platforms? I don't know about that. Offline first, security everywhere, progressive enhancement, peace focused design, platform specific UX. I don't think we should be too obsessed about maximum code reuse in this modern AI era. where we can generate a lot of code. Having said that, we will need shareable, reusable code, and it should have very good tests and should change very little. Something like that. People are obsessed with don't repeat yourself, and I just hate this obsession with don't repeat yourself. It can create very fragile code. I would rather be anti-fragile. And so dry is, don't repeat yourself, dry, D-R-Y, is fragile, is a bit of an anti-pattern. It can be, and it takes, if it's done well, and I've never seen it done well, then good. But a lot of times it ends up looking like spaghetti. That was a good bagel. So you can see like how work is done nowadays as artificial intelligence gets integrated more and more. The importance of planning is it's very important that we plan. The difficulty, the amount of expertise you need in doing the planning should decrease over time as artificial intelligence is able to leverage the relevant expertise properly, which I think depends on curating and collecting expertise, which is why I'm kind of doing this. What I could do now is I could create a Discord server, and I could let's see, do I create one? Do I use one? I've created quite a few in the past. I don't think I need to do that yet, but it would be good to eventually allow others to help and to participate. Strategic code reuse. Okay, next steps, provider OAuth. We're ready to start building things. Let's add support for, I want to use GitHub first. Boom. So I'll have to go and create a Hero LFG app everywhere. And then I'll have client ID, client secret. I should not, these are the kinds of secrets I don't want to share in a live stream. And if I did, I would need to update. I would need to like change my secret and update it. Or I'd have to have just automatic rotation capability. So this is, you know, when I was younger, I thought that we could be transparent. I was an advocate of transparency, and transparency is hard. You have to be careful. I was a little bit naive. More than a little bit. So it is now adding support for OAuth, and so the goal would be, I guess I need to go ahead and create a GitHub token. So if I go to github.com, I can sign in. Oh, I'm gonna need my phone. So I'm gonna run down and grab my phone while this thing runs. I'll be back. All right, I'm back, and let's see. I need to sign in to GitHub. Password, multi-factor, all that stuff. So there's expertise, multi-factor. I would like this to be able to, this thing I'm working on, to help with multi-factor. I'd mentioned in the previous stream how it would be nice if I could recover my old email address that got lost. I'd love to be able to get access to my old forum posts and some old website that got disappeared. And so I should be able to prove who I am with a high degree of confidence and gain access to my work that basically got taken away from me. The fruit of my labor disappeared. Basically got disappeared. I'm not gonna say stolen. I don't think it got stolen. It's just, it disappeared. And I'm a valuable guy. Let's see. Including my mistakes. Mistakes are valuable too. That's the hard part. And I'm now logged in to GitHub. I'm just trusting that Claude 4 is gonna build out that back end for me. I don't know. Spending my money. I mean, there's a bunch of money being spent. Okay. I want, let's see. I want an app. GitHub apps. OAuth apps. New OAuth app. Application name. Application description. And the authorization callback URL. I will use HTTP localhost 3000. There we go. And so I'll have to set up the client ID and the client secret. So I'm going to do that. You shouldn't be able to see this, yeah. So I can do a hopefully. How do I do this safely? There's a bunch of ways. Yeah, the problem with the AI tools right now is that it could be streaming stuff. Like, if Cursor all of a sudden, like, decided to read certain files, it could leak my secrets. It's just, this way of doing it is not the best. And so I think one of my first integrations should be Zoom. If I want to do this, I can use Zoom. Assuming Zoom lets me record offline. And then there needs to be a, I mean, it's so expensive to go analyze all the video for the leaking of secrets. There's a price tag, right? That's the problem with transparency. It's the problem. It's like there's a price tag, there's a cost. Secrets are necessary, and you know, how do I would have to basically put a secret into a system. Yeah, it would be hard to avoid leaking my secret, and it'd be hard to guarantee that Cursor's not going to leak my secrets. That's what's hard. But I would need a plan to, in case the secret, yeah, I guess I would leak my secret now, just with the plan that all secrets would be updated before, like, going live. And the secrets don't really matter when you're using like a local host as your callback for OAuth. I'm assuming that. That's where I could do some research. I can't get Claude to do research for me for another hour and 15 minutes. I have pay for Claude. I don't pay the max. But I want to test this thing. So is Docker running? That would be a question. Let me make sure Docker's started. Docker desktop. I'm gonna share screen. Docker is now running. Let's start with a simple web app that allows me to log in via GitHub and test that my offline token in the database, which is encrypted at rest, can be used successfully. So this is our next, I guess I could save things. Let's see. A simple web app to test our GitHub provider with encrypted token storage. This will validate our entire OAuth flow and database integration. I'm hoping these, I found out that I have I have benign tumors on my adrenal glands, which could explain how I've been feeling for years. And it would be cool to feel better again, like I did many years ago. It's amazing how much a person's character and personality is shaped by things like being tired, being sick, health issues, diet issues, traumas, whether psychological or physical, and then traumas even related to just sickness and disease and infection. There's actually have hope. This is kind of a morality expertise thing. I have hope that improvements in medical expertise and providing healthcare for all people would result in increasing amounts of peace on earth, because the theory would be that large amounts of conflict, it originates in a lack of healthiness. And I know that's just health is such a broad term, but tumors within people degrading their personality and their character is not a good thing. And I suspect that being able to cure and prevent these kinds of things from happening would result in a better world for everyone. But I would abstract that and extend it into so many other areas.
Webster, your sandwich is ready. Get to eat down there.
I hit the mute talking to my wife. She's looking for the drivers. I guess she needs to she needs a drill. I have a drill and a hammer drill. One of the interesting things about this new era is that sometimes you can just like delete it all and start over, but you can, like, a prompt for doing that could be, document our lessons learned and create prompts and workflows for recreating this project from scratch. And so that would be a guide where you could iterate and try again. And what's wild is, I could type 70 words per minute. And I would judge people based on the number of words per minute they could type when I was a new software engineer, junior. I stopped doing that eventually. I started to come to appreciate things I eventually would learn that I didn't know at the time. But man, now the number of words per minute being typed is large, very large. And so you can actually build out a system and throw it away. And you don't necessarily have to throw it away. You could archive it, keep a copy of it, and say, this did not work well. One of the tools, another billion-dollar industry idea would be tracking the prompts and contexts and workflows and evals. But I'm not totally pursuing large amounts of wealth and power. Watch the robot work. It would be nice to be able to play some music. right. Let's see. All right, so I'm live streaming and I have the GitHub OAuth client ID and secret available. What is the risk if I leak the secret? Security risk. You should regenerate the secret immediately if it's exposed during a live stream. What an attacker can do with your OAuth client secret: impersonate your application, create malicious apps that look like yours, trick users into authorizing a fake version, conduct phishing attacks using your app's identity. OAuth flow manipulation, intercept authorization codes if they also have your client ID, potentially redirect OAuth flows, perform authorization code injection attacks, use your app's rate limits for their own purposes, potentially get your app rate limited or banned. What they cannot do: access existing user tokens, directly access user accounts, steal data from your database, impersonate individual users. So, it's still writing. It's still writing. GitHub OAuth secret rotation script. Use this if you accidentally leaked your OAuth secret during live streaming. You should have already generated a new secret. Show the current client ID. Don't show the secret. Enter your new GitHub OAuth client secret. And updating OAuth secret. Set it into the environment. Check if Docker services are running. Restarting Docker. Update production. Test the OAuth flow. I think we would just call, one thing that could be done is just to call this Hero LFG testing. Create a separate demo OAuth app. Use placeholder values. Never display environment variables on screen. So yeah, this is the thing that I was thinking. Just use a demo OAuth app. The problem is that if people were there has to be something in the cloud to allow authentication. They can't do OAuth. They can't do OAuth unless doing using a I guess they could do OAuth if they created their own app. And they would have to, part of the setup process for each person, if they're doing it local and I'm not paying for a server, is that they would have to create their own app. So that's that. I'm going to call this demo. And I just updated the app to call it demo. And rotate GitHub secret. Let's see. Docker compose. Redis backend. There should be I think we should use a .env files. Let's use .env files and make sure we have good .getignore and a good .env .example file. Alright, so this is a demo app. I think that basically protects you. There's all of this, everything running here for a live stream, for testing, is just demo applications, and people can create their own demo applications, which is a pain and would be a good reason to host this stuff myself, to make a better user experience for people who wanted to participate. It's still generating. This is the GitHub redirect. So I updated the app, the OAuth app, and GitHub. Man, I have not played the guitar in a long time. It hurts my fingers, and it highlights the fact that my fingernails are too long. All right. Look at that. Just trying to share my keys and my secrets and stuff right here in the live stream. I guess I can rerun them. Gonna rerun somewhere else. It will not matter at this point. It's all running locally. All right. My .env file. Oh. So I'm just going to copy, and I don't think it matters if you see this stuff. I would just need to regenerate things before going into production. But I don't know. Oh, generate. Maybe I'll do it in a different window, and I'll close this. Just make it hard, just in case. So, just practicing good habits, trying not to share secrets. So now that's set, and I should be able to do it. What are my steps? Is it going to tell me my steps? Okay. What are my next steps? I remember one of my kids tried to do something with me on Pokemon. Maybe that's my next step. Yeah. I'm trying to become friends with my children on Pokemon Go. Friendship level increased. Send a gift. All right. So phase 1, generate keys. So I could run those and do that. And then let's see what that looks like in the encryption. Yeah. Okay, so it did not set that for me. So I need to do that. So I'm going to do make generate keys. You can't see me do that. But then I can copy. Oops. I can copy and paste. Key. Oops. Oops. And oops. Save. Just stop. I did that. Phase 2. Start the complete system with a make dev. So I'll do a make dev. And I should probably share my browser. Properties. New tab. All right. And oh, there was an error when I did a make dev. And we should let cursor solve that. So I'm going to switch back to cursor. And I'm going to let cursor help me solve this error. I'll just copy and paste the error. A lot of times cursor can read your mind. So Docker is running. Yeah, this is the weird world now. Artificial intelligence assisted intelligence work. Sometimes I feel dumb. Sometimes I feel dumb when it does things that surprises me and is good. And sometimes I feel dumb when it does things that, when it's unable to succeed. And it's a weird skill, learning how to work with these things. Well, I did a Control-C, Control-V from within the ID here, and you maybe did not see it, but it added this, come on now. Why is it asking for my credentials? I'm just going to run this in a separate thing. It's just hanging. Sudo systemctl status docker is just hanging. Maybe I can update Docker, and that would help. I'll download the latest version. Restart. So I'm installing a newer version of Docker. Who knows if that will help. I am waiting for an install. And we're doing it live. Let's at least allow for the changes to be seen. What is it? If I go turn this on, there you go. Now you can see Docker Desktop. Restarting Docker. Okay. The new version has some MCP toolkit stuff. Add MCP servers. Add a server from the catalog. Wow. Atlassian. GitHub. Puppeteer has been archived. I don't know why. Maybe security reasons. Upload your MCP server. There's only 144 right now. It's probably a good advertising thing to get in, to be able to get in. To add your MCP server. There's Discord. Interact with Discord with your... What do you do here? What are the tools? Discord requires secrets to work. So I'm guessing you could use an artificial intelligence to allow it to do all of these things. Discord sound. And I'm guessing you would have to connect this to a server. Like, I'm not going to be able to connect this up to anyone's server. I would have to own the server. So you could, for example, have an artificial intelligence manage a Discord server, which is kind of an interesting idea. Let's go back. feel like I got sidetracked, but this is an MCP server registry. Retrieve transcripts for given YouTube video URLs. One tool. By Jacobo Kawamoto. Pretty cool. That has a lot of downloads. 500,000. AWS documentation. You would think this would have a sort by numbered downloads. Search, update, and manage files and run terminal commands with AI. Desktop Commander. Husqvarna auto mower. So you can have a lawn mower that is a robot, and I guess there's a tool for it. What is the tool? Status. Get status of my Husqvarna auto mowers. That's pretty cool. A universal MCP server to integrate any API. There it is. Some people like memories. If you want your AI to have memories. Playwright. So I guess Playwright is a way to, it's a way to give your AI, I think it can look at like the front end stuff on Playwright. I think it's something I need to understand. Slack archived. Sequential thinking. time and time zone conversion. So I think playwright's the one I need to understand. Yeah, so it can interact with the browser. So then, when you develop with Cursor, for example, Cursor can then have its own browser to test things. So that's pretty cool. All right. So I downloaded the latest Docker, and I'm restarting. It needs to be recreated. Interesting. So I'll just copy and paste. So if I had the expertise, I could just do what it said to do. And I guess the assumption would be that make Docker down would destroy the networks, the Docker networks. And so I could have done that. But I think the problem here, and this is where I have a piece of expertise, if I go to my make file and I look at dev, make dev, it should do it should do Docker down before it does Docker up. So I'm just going to do that manually. The network issue persists. So it just deleted a bunch of volumes. I'm guessing. No, I guess it wasn't volumes. What did it do? I've used the command before. Is it going to delete all my networks? So it did not need to do a prune, is what I'm guessing. And so this is where if you give it access to your production stuff, it can delete things it should not delete. It's dangerous business. A vibe coder might not know that, might not recognize that it made a mistake there. So what I think is going to happen is, no. I guess I should go look. I could go look up, for example, what did you do? What was that command you did? Docker system prune-f. So it's trying to bypass compose and just use Docker. And which is a good troubleshooting technique here. Now it's attempting to initialize the database. Sometimes it's very impressive. Look at it. It just showed you my secrets. Good thing this is a test environment. I guess when it used Docker instead of Docker Compose, it did not have the environment variables, which the Docker Compose file configures, would be my guess. Those schemas are probably wrong. Like, why would there be a peace score calculated based on positive contributions? We're going to have a peace score? It almost sounds like a core. I know they're the Peace Corps. This is just amazing. Like, the debugging that's going on. An expert might know, and I'm no expert. Not a PostgreSQL expert. Neither Prisma. I've never used Prisma. Oh, come on. The version of Node.js. Is that wrong? Using up my tokens. Let me take a step back. I saw that thinking. Let me take a step back. Going to temporarily undo some of the complexity. Yeah, I was thinking the same thing actually. I was thinking we started off with too much complexity. I don't know why it's creating this file. It would be nice if it... I mean, this is perhaps a problem with code reuse, like when we want to reuse code. But where did it put that file? I'm surprised it hasn't looked at the version of npm and Node.js. Maybe I can guide it. I feel like it's making assumptions about which version to use. And if this thing starts working, we're either going to have to clean it up or we're going to have to recreate based off of some learning. Now it looks like it's going slow. I'm going to start a new conversation. And I'm going to do make dev. And I'm going to say, help me get my basic test working. let's see. I'm going to stop it. And I'm going to say, search the internet about this error we are seeing. So cursor baked into it has a way to do a search. And so it like has a tool for searching the internet. So now it's going to delete the network. So I wonder if it created the network with a previous version. Well, it still did not work. I'm tempted to restart my computer. Restarting Docker. I'm going to stop. And then I'm going to try running this thing. Let's see. I'm basically just going to restart my computer instead of asking Docker to restart things for me. I installed a new version of Docker, and I think restarting the computer will solve the problem. But we'll see. But I'll have to end the stream and maybe start a new one.